So today is May 27th, 2018, and I thought I would make a little video about the importance of this day in my life. In 2012, which was a Sunday, it was the final day of Phoenix Comic Con, which is now Phoenix Comic Fest. And it was the weekend we debuted issue 6 of Euthanasia, which featured the new character Flux, that was based on a friend I made named Sarah Schwartz, who was a cosplayer and a model, and somebody who fought cancer for 7 years. I got to see her. She dressed up like Flux, and she was just a really, really special part of my life for way too short of a period of time. And Sunday the 27th, 2012 was the last time I saw her. She passed away a few months later. The following year at Tucson Comic Con, we debuted the next issue of Euthanasia, which, was a really, really fun issue, and it was great and everything, but getting home that Sunday back here to Tucson, coming home, putting all the bags away and everything like that, the dogs usually come running out to greet me, and Guri and Foley came running out of the back room, and Sabu didn't. And I went into the back and looked at him, and he was just laying there looking up at me, and there was something wrong. He was that night I gave him a bath, and I cut his toenails, and sat with him and read Battle Pug, which was a really cool graphic novel about a giant pug that was being ridden into battle by like a Conan the Barbarian type character done by Mike Norton. The next day, Sabu was not in the bed. He was curled up underneath the table in his dog bed, and he was leaving a trail of blood. And I swooped him up, wrapped him in a towel, took him to the vet's office, and they told me he was hemorrhaging internally, and they didn't know what they could do or if they could do anything. And even though he wasn't 5 years old yet, we decided to let him go. He was the first one I called Bubba, and would become the field leader for the Bubba Patrol. Also in 2012, the year before, was the first image of the Bubba Patrol in the first comic strip that debuted, with the promise on the back cover of coming soon. 2017 was the year that actually happened. So 4 years after Sabu passed away, and 5 years after the last time I saw Sarah, I left my house on a Saturday to go and get a tattoo, and it's a PMA, which stands for Positive Mental Attitude. Come here, buddy. Come here. Which is how I've been living my life since 2016, when I decided to get sober, and then in early 2017 when I quit smoking, and then in July, just following in 2017, when I quit drinking soda, and now this year, eating healthy, working out smarter, losing weight, getting stronger. I'm 1 week away from turning 40, but on this day last year, when I came home from getting a tattoo that represents who I am now, my little space dog, Guri, who is also in the Bubba Patrol, had passed away. And I knew she had been sick for a while. She had lost a lot of weight. She had a large mass on her stomach. Part of me didn't want to get her checked because, that would be facing it, and that would be really hard. But she was also not in pain. She was comfortable. She was happy. She would bark and let me chase her around and roll over on the ground and give hugs and kisses and belly rubs and ate treats and was such a happy dog. So May 27th has been really synonymous in my life this past 6 years now. I had decided last year that during the Memorial Day weekend I was going to move my stuff out of the small office and have like the big living room area where I could draw and have guests and everything like that. And when Guri passed away, I said, I didn't feel like doing it. But then I thought to myself, life goes on. And yes, there is a mourning process to it. But you have to continue with what works and with what your plans are. And so I have felt like this year, working on the second issue of the Bubba Patrol, that I've lost some motivations and slowed down and spaced it out and put other things that have become priority, including my health and getting better. But seeing all the feeds on the things that have happened on today, in my history on Facebook has really, really brought things into perspective. And tomorrow, or later today, when I wake up, I will empty out one of the bedrooms to begin turning it into a gym, which was my plan. And I will continue work on the second issue of the Bubba Patrol, because not only is it a wonderful story with characters that I love, and they're my dogs and they save my life each and every day, and Foley and Grayson have been such good boys since Guri passed, and they've been good brothers, and they've been my babies. It's my way to honor them, and that they have a legacy outside of just me and my family and friends. The Bubbas are the most important things that have ever happened to me, and Sabu was the first one I called Bubba, but he was also my first little dog. I'm hunched over petting them right now, so I didn't want a little dog. I had Cypress. She was a big Chow Shepherd, and I always made fun of little dogs, and I would make fun of my dad, who had a little Shih Tzu named Zipper, who recently passed away, and say that they weren't real dogs. But the instant I saw Sabu, when me and my then girlfriend Jessica went to, interestingly enough, met a guy at a Circle K off of I-10 in Marana, just outside of Tucson, to get Sabu. The instant I saw him, I fell in love. And the instant we saw Guri and Foley, we fell in love with them too. And I'd only meant to get one for Sabu to be friends with, but couldn't couldn't pick between them and took them both home. And then when Sabu passed, there was the time of adjustment and mourning. And when I was ready, started looking again and got Grayson. And he's been a wonderful addition to this family and to this team. And I just look to not just make them proud, but to show their story in what they mean to me. And so that's what May 27th means to me. My name's John Anthony Chihak Soltero of Anti-Hero Brand Press and AHB Kids. And hug your furry or scaly or fishy or otherwise members of your family today.